fellow figure skating fans and friends. I'm so excited to have my friend Nicole on here with me today discussing the 2017 World Figure Skating Championships. We are having some technical difficulties today, so this is like our third take, Nicole, right?
Yeah, third,
Yeah,
maybe fourth,
third. So
fifth,
we are
something like that.
going to plow through this. Let's start off with the men's discipline. Congratulations to Yuzuru Hanyu for winning this year. And it was a great long program that he was able to win with, right, Nicole? Beautiful quad loop, effort
Amazing. I
jumps.
mean, this was his
Yes.
best in 18 months. He did the quad loop. He landed the style cows. He's been his nemesis all season. I wish it was with his programs from last year, as those were my favorite Hanyu programs. And the long didn't create quite as big of an impact as it would have. But I mean, still wonderful and amazing. And you could tell that he was hungry for it and he really wanted the win. And I think this sets him up in the best way possible for Pyeongchang. It's kind of crazy that Hanyu is only two-time world champion now, but just wonderful. He was out for blood here, and he nailed it.
Absolutely. He was behind after the short program, and I believe fifth place, which sounds more drastic than it actually is, but really he just kind of botched his combination in the short program. Never was he out of the contention for the gold medal. I knew he could come back with a strong long program.
I mean, I knew that he knew that he had to do it, and I think that the start order really helped him because it was kind of like he saw that the other men had made mistakes, so he had kind of buffer room. It was kind of like he went out there and knew that he had to be perfect because he thought that everyone else was going to be, and it worked out in his favor.
Absolutely. And we talked about this before, but we just loved his ending pose after his long program. It's like, yes, I did my job. I
Yes,
did it the best that I could.
it's the look on his face because he gets like this kind of like an eye twitch. It's really like smirky, kind of cocky, and it's like, he did it.
You know what I thought of when I saw him make that face? I thought he was saying, "Take that, Nathan Chen.
Beat that.
Eat that." Okay, and then do you want to talk about how excited you were for Shoma Uno winning the silver medal?
Oh my god, he's like little like rainbows and kittens and fluffy clouds. Like that is how I think of Shoma Uno. And it's funny because his programs are all like very dramatic and he has this like serious face. And yet I still think of him as like a little fluffy kitten. But yeah, he was wonderful here. I love his short. I didn't like his long at the beginning of the season, and now I have grown to really just wait for when the lady starts screaming in the song. Like that is like my favorite part. and he was just brilliant here. I think he could make the case that he could have even won here. Just really brilliant. I love both programs, and I think that this was such an improvement from last year's World, Like, he came in here with a confidence and kind of a relaxed quality to him, and I think that that really helped him.
Absolutely. And you make a good point by saying that a case could be made for him winning because he really only lost the gold to Hanyu by a few points. Hanyu had a total score of 321.59 and Shoma had a total score of 319.31. So about 2 points. It's really close.
So it's basically if Shoma had been clean with the Lutz, it would have been a lot closer. But they really each only had one mistake, Hanyu and Shoma, over the two programs. Hanyu had it with the quad style and the short, and then Shoma had it with the Lutz and the long. And so really, one mistake both of them could have made the case for either.
Yeah, absolutely. Hanyu obviously won by a greater program component marks, but it was nice to see Shoma finally being second at a World Figure Skating Championships because I always feel like Shoma is fighting for the bronze medal when really I think he's above that. He should be, in the mix with
And I
Javier
think
and
this
Hanyu.
will give him a PCS. And I hope that this does give him that PCS bump, you know what I mean? From being the world feminist. Didn't work out that well for Ashley Wagner, but we'll get there. So yeah, he's just wonderful, amazing, and I'm so excited that he won. He skates so like outwardly, and is just so like he just gives it to you. You know what I mean? And like Hanyu, even a little bit, is slightly more like introspective with his skating, and he doesn't like have that insane amount of projection that Shoma does. And I really respond to that in Shoma skating.
That's true. Shoma's looking really good with the quad flip and the quad loop. Those seem to be pretty consistent elements for him. And I think I told you this earlier. I think Shoma seems to be one of the faster skaters in the top men.
He does, and part of that is because his knee bend is like the best in the world, that he's really able to push and get that speed. I know that a lot of people think that he has cute skating. I don't really see that as much. I think that his skating skills are pretty wonderful, actually, and I'm kind of the Nazi for that. But I think his are actually like probably second best in the men right now. I would put his skating skills like right behind Patrick Chan's. But
I was
yeah,
just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, so,
Okay, so speaking of skating skills, let's talk about the winner of the bronze medalist here, who does not have the best skating skills, Boyang Jin of China. What he does have is a lot of quad jumps, and I gotta say, I enjoy Boyang skating when he's clean and he attempts a lot of quads and he lands them. But otherwise, other aspects of his skating is kind of lackluster in my opinion. Sometimes he skates kind of juniorish with the like two steps and the shallow edges, although we are really thankful for the shimmy in the middle of his Spider-Man program because that is just so hilarious.
I mean, can you believe that he's the world bronze medalist again? Like, that is insane. Like, I feel like there was some momentum for it last season, but this season, no, I couldn't have predicted that at all. And yet he just came out there and did it again. And I mean, I guess props to him for doing that. I really like his off-ice personality more than his on-ice one. I think that he's kind of like, you know, sweet and adorable, and that's, you know, I respond to that. But I'm not a big fan of like, there's nothing to like his long program.
No, I would like for
like
him.
They tried.
Yeah, I would like for him to appear more like a man on the ice as opposed to a little boy.
The short, it's less noticeable how jump, 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 and in the long, it's kind of like, and I hate doing this because I think that Nathan Chen is a way better skater. But Nathan's can kind of get, like, in the long program, jump, 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 jump. And, like, but it's more exciting when Nathan skates.
Yeah.
But we'll get to him.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way about Boyang. Did not expect him to win a medal this year or land on the podium at the World Championships because he's had an inconsistent season. I guess good for him for landing the quad jumps when it matters the most.
I mean, 2 world bronze medals.
That's something to be happy
probably
about.
Getting a third or something, knowing him.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's talk about the other men who were not fortunate enough to land on the podium. Javier Fernandez, kind of a big disappointment because he was leading by a huge margin after the short program.
I mean, I got worried when he did such an amazing short program because I remember Boston last year, he was a mess in the short. He really had to come back in the long. And when it was kind of flipped here, where he had a meeting short, I was really worried for the long program. And the long hasn't risen. I do like it. It's fun. I hope he goes back to Frank Sinatra next season. But I mean, God, the fall in the long, go for it.
Ugh. Yeah, I wish it was the way it was last year because you can lose a lot of points if you don't skate a good long program. Like if you had to choose between a clean short or clean long, always go for a clean long if you had to choose between one or the other. It's really unfortunate. And then we talk about the men who didn't make the podium. I think the key number here is 4. 4 quads that need to be landed to win a medal at Worlds. And then Javier, who placed 4th overall mainly because of his long program, only ended up attempting 3 quads. So you really got to get those rotations in.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Javier. I guess he wasn't talking to Mickey Ando beforehand because, like, she said that when he doesn't talk to her, then he skates badly. So,
Javier, what were you thinking?
Javier.
By the way, on Twitter, it sounds like they may no longer be a couple, but I was just reading casual tweets, no verifications, but it's something to think about.
Maybe that's why he didn't win.
Who knows? Yeah, so let's move on to someone with amazing skating skills. Oh, Patrick Chan of Canada, placing fifth here overall, but actually, I thought he had pretty good skates here. Did a good job landing that quad salchow in the long program. Kudos to him.
Amazing. Like uh, I found this program slightly boring at the beginning of the season, but I mean, he has just kind of really grown into it in my mind, and the quads were beautiful. Like when he beautiful quads out there, and I mean, he went for the triple axel. I think there was one mistake on it in the long, but he landed it in the short, and then the second one in the long he landed, if I remember correctly. And what an improvement from last year's Worlds. I mean, he really skated like he was loving being out there. And, you know, like Marina made Nathan love what he was doing. I think she made Patrick
Yeah,
love what he was doing.
yeah, that was not good how Patrick ended the competition last year. I just remembered he got off the ice, was complaining about the ice quality, had doubled a lot of jumps. You know, he may have only placed fifth here, but they were very respectable skates.
They were, and his just, oh my God, his skating skills are so amazing. I loved all the transitions in it. I know that he does some of them in many programs, like when he does the stop and then he puts the arms out and he puts the, like, one leg out. He does that. He did that last year. But, I mean, there was some new stuff, and I really like this program. The short, I love so much. Oh, I love the short program. But it's always blocked on YouTube.
I know. I like both programs, actually. The short, a little better. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if Patrick can land on the Olympic podium, to be honest. He only attempted three quads. Neither of them were the quad flip or loop or Lutz. He may be fighting for a bronze medal, and I hope he's okay with that.
Just the point value of the type of quads that are being done. I mean, he is kind of fighting for that ones and hoping for mistakes for others. But love him still. And have you noticed, side note, that like so many of the programs this season have been blocked on YouTube. And this is like across the
Yes.
board. This isn't just him.
Don't remind me. Is it because lyrics are involved or because skaters are choosing more mainstream popular music?
I'm noticing it from, I think it's because like it's the popular music thing, because like Tessa Scott's Long, that's always blocked on YouTube, Patrick Short. And then Fuji TV official needs to stop with the Japanese skaters. Every time, no matter where they are, they block it like right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's really unfortunate. But you know, us skating fans, we have ways of finding these programs, so nothing's gonna stop us. Okay, so that was great for Patrick. Now, time to discuss Nathan Chen. Oh, did I want him to do so much better, Nicole? But first things first, let's celebrate the fact that we now have three spots for the men's at the Olympics. We got lucky because we barely qualified three spots.
Barely qualified, but I mean, we did it, so there's that. Like, job well done. But I mean, Nathan
Absolutely.
could be world champion, which is why this is a little sad,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But Nathan, I wanted him to do so much better. Man, in the short program, it was unfortunate that he fell on the axle. Axles are hard. I get that it's your least favorite jump, but that I could forgive. But that long program, attempting six quads sounded like a bit much if you asked me. And it was very difficult to watch.
It was. I mean, they were hard falls. I was impressed, though, that he isn't a Gracie to where, like, he makes one mistake and then you're like, oh boy, there's more coming. You know what I mean? Like, he gets back up and he's really good at, like, the mental aspect of it, of completing the program to the
Hmm.
best. And is his competitive ability here. And I appreciate that he wanted to go for six quads, but, I mean, five 5 is still a lot, Nathan.
Yeah, really,
Especially
just
when you're
do
doing
4.
like the
Yeah,
is and
I'm wondering if he decided to do all those extra quads because he was behind in the short program. Mm.
yeah. Um, I mean, that kind of sounds like Nathan. I don't think that he would have attempted it. Like, if he was in first place, why would he go for 6? Like,
Hmm.
after the short, I mean, he wouldn't have gone for the 6. I don't think. But it sounds like he was having boot problems. I mean, I know that he switched out the laces on his skates to hockey laces or something to get him to lace up tighter. But even so, I really just hope that this doesn't like mess with his like mental state for next season. Just keep him in a bubble. Do what you've been doing. It's been working. Continue. So this was just a like forget this ever happened.
Absolutely. We have proof that Nathan can be very great. There's the Grand Prix final, there's 4 continents, and even nationals. So let's hope that we get more of that
And
Nathan
I really
Chen.
think that I think he could win still the Olympics. Like I think that he lands all those quads. I still think that it is within his reach. Like I don't just keep doing what you're doing and stay focused. And I still think that he could do it.
Absolutely. So you're thinking he could win? Because I'm just hoping for a medal at the Olympics.
Depending on how others do, but if Mason goes out there and does like 2 quads in the short, 6 in the long, it's hard to deny that point value. Do I think he's going to win? Like, probably not. But do you think he could? It's still a possibility.
Hmm. Absolutely, I agree with you. Okay, so let's talk about the other American who helped secure 3 spots for the Olympics, Jason Brown. I gotta say, everyone criticizes Jason for not doing quads, and I sometimes am part of that camp. But his skating is just so beautiful. Maybe I feel this way because I watched him right after seeing Nathan Chen skate. But I was like, ooh,
They're
a guy
kind
who
of
can
like
stay on
two
his feet.
sides.
Hmm.
Yeah, 2 sides of the same coin in a way. Like Nathan's going to give you all that technical stuff, and he's kind of artistic, and he has that. And then Jason's going to give you all of that just pure artistry
Absolutely. I really wish he could
in a
add
way
that
that
quad.
Nathan isn't quite yet.
Yeah, I really wish he could add that quad in
Oh,
the
so
short
much.
program. Oh, or land it in the long, but there is a lot more to his skating to enjoy.
I mean, he's wonderful. I think he's going to be Olympics next year.
Absolutely. And hey, we got 3 spots, so he doesn't need to worry too much.
Would you put him in over Joshua Ferris who's landed in practice? Multiple odds.
That's difficult. I may send Jason just for the experience, or because he's had experience. We'll have to see how Joshua does next season. I actually want Vincent Joe to go to the Olympics.
I feel like he's going. If he
Hmm.
continues, I think he's going. I feel like he would be number 2, perhaps.
Yeah. Hey, and Vincent is the reigning world junior champion. Look,
That only helps
look at
with his
us US men.
resume.
We are like slowly rising in the ranks internationally. I love it so much.
I mean, like 3 years ago, it was a mess. So yeah, that's who
Absolutely.
Nathan Chen.
So the men we have discussed so far have placed first to seventh. Is there anyone else you want to talk about, Nicole?
I can't really think of anyone. Can you?
No, so I did not watch Dennis 10, but it sounded like he imploded in the long program.
I honestly can't even watch Dennis 10 anymore unless I know that, like, after the fact that he did well before he is fallen. It's hard. It's very hard.
Yeah,
Oh, and I really, really hope that Misha doesn't retire. That's the last. I really hope that he continues.
cool. Oh, so you just said, sorry, I wanted to clarify. You hope that Mishagi does not retire.
Yeah, because he's wonderful and just I mean, God, he's a gift skating. So yeah, hope he doesn't retire. Love him.
Absolutely beautiful skater he is. Okay, let's transition over to the ladies' discipline. I will let you talk about Evgenia.
Oh bless. I
She broke a new world record for the long program, I
don't know
believe.
what. Mhm. I respect her competitive ability and that she is able to maintain her consistency from event to event. And even if there's a small mistake, she doesn't let it get to her. I respect that. I don't like the program this season. I think it is horribly offensive, and I have been saying this since it was announced. Like, it is completely just, there's no reason that you should be fading to that. It's offensive. But I think that, like, for me, Evgenia's a little easy to kind of ignore in a way. Like, it's like, I know she's kind of going to win, so it's like it's not really a story anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, who's going to be second? Who's going to be third? It's kind of like that's where I'm paying more attention to because I already know what the outcome is going to be for each competition. Whether it's right or wrong, like that she's given that much benefit of the doubt, I feel like she's kind of in that position where she has a buff.
Yeah. I will say this, I do respect her for what she's able to do. I just wish she had programs that made her seem like a legend in the sport. To me, her programs are kind of cookie cutter average.
I agree with that. So long this year, it's memorable, but like not in a way that you want to be remembered. And this is a girl that has personality. Like she watches Yuri on Ice. Like she's,
Hmm.
give her something that like I don't. I don't think Evgenia connects to a 9/11 program in the slightest, which is part of the problem. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Hmm.
think that she has. She was like one when 9/11 happened. So like I don't. I don't think that this is a fit for her in the slightest.
Yeah, I would prefer to watch Elena Radionova's programs over Evgenia's. And her programs are not the best, but they're actually pretty entertaining.
They're bad, but they're fun. And there's, you know what I mean? Like I would watch Titanic 500 times before I would watch the 9/11 program or the one with the ears and any of that, just because it's more entertaining.
Hmm. That's right. Okay, so that's enough about Evgenia. Yeah, she dominated, she won. Big whoop. Anyways, moving on to the silver medalist here. Congratulations to Canada for the first time ever having two ladies on the world podium, and they have qualified 3 spots for the Olympics for the first time since 1968. Canada made some history this weekend.
I mean, are the Canadian commentators ever gonna like let this go? Like PJ Kwong is gonna mention this at every event till like the end of time. Canadian Nationals is going to be just amazing with the scoring and like the commentary, and I can't wait for it.
I thought it was pretty
Caitlin Osmond
bad.
is not my personal favorite,
Yeah, I thought it was
but
pretty bad. Oh, go
good
ahead.
job.
Yeah,
Oh no,
good.
sorry, I was just going to say, but good.
Yeah, good job to Caitlin. I was gonna say it was pretty bad last season watching Canadian Nationals with Tracy Wilson being like, Caitlin's 80 compared to Mariah Nagasu's 72 at US Nationals, and it's like they are different competitions. Tracy, come on.
It's hard sometimes because Canada is very pro Canada, which I mean, understandably so, but like, yeah,
Hmm.
Caitlin some problems with her skating that don't get properly rewarded. Just sometimes her jumps are a little terrifying.
Yeah, they're kind of wild in the air sometimes, and she manages to save the landings, and I don't know how, but she does.
It scared me. It's like she'll be so wild that I'm like, oh my god, please don't kill yourself. And then like she'll land it, and it's kind of like I can't even be like amazed because it's kind of like, oh, okay, she didn't die. She didn't die.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So Caitlin Osmond, great showing for her this year, maybe the best showings of her career internationally. Clean short program, was awarded a 75-point program. I'm so glad it wasn't 80. And in the long program, she was as clean as she needed to be. A few errors, but enough to win the silver medal. Now we get to talk about the winner of the bronze medalist, my girl, Gabrielle Daleman. Woo-hoo, 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 woo-hoo.
You were waiting for this. You've been waiting to talk about your girl Gabby. Do you want to go first?
I almost wanted to talk about this first thing in the video. I was like, one thing out of order, but no, I didn't want to make this video comical for other people to watch. But Gabby Daleman, the time has come. Talk about rising in the ranks. 3 years ago at Worlds, she was 23rd. Last year, she was 9th, 21st. Now, last year, she was 9th, and this year, she's 3rd. And I think she is now in contention for an Olympic medalist. Wow, so she has amazing jumps. I always knew that when she landed them cleanly in both programs, that would put her in good standings overall at international events. And it finally happened. I mean, who needs Grand Prix medals when you can get a four-continent silver and a world's bronze? Am I right?
I mean, I really like her. I think she's got so much personality, and she's kind of, I don't think she has personality in the same way as Ashley, but it's kind of in that same vein where, like, she's got fire to her. I don't like her short this year. I think her long is a little bit of a better program, but I still don't think Rhapsody in Blue fits her. I want her to get programs that, like, really fit her. That's, like, the only thing I'm waiting for with her is I want those programs that, like, truly fit her like a glove. I'm just waiting for that. I'm waiting for her Moulin Rouge.
Her programs are getting better. I agree with you. Her team has found a good way to package her as a dynamite jumper athlete with some artistic style. I just think next year she needs to find the best programs, short and long. And Lori Nicole usually chooses a program for her. So Lori, please work your magic that I know you have for some other skaters.
I personally don't think that Gabby Daleman is a skater that inspires Lori in that way. And that's okay, but just, go to someone who, is inspired by you.
Absolutely. That's a big risk to take, though, for an Olympic year.
It is, but I mean, there's good choreography. Like, go to Shaylin Bourne and see what she comes up with, Like,
there are plenty of resources in Canada. She has options.
There are. I'd also like to see her up her combination because a Toto, as beautiful and gorgeous as it is, and like one of the best, it still is a Toto. And you're still kind of like, I feel like she's capable of like a massive fliplets. I forget which one she's better at.
Let's toe.
Yeah, go for that.
She's not really consistent. She's tried that last season. So that's the tough. So even I think she would be killer if in the long program she did flip toe and let's toe. Maybe toe for the short. You always want to be in or toe for the short. But do your difficult ones for the long because you got to be in a good setup after the short program.
But at least try it out. I mean, because a Toto is not near worth as much, and I think she could be much higher if she was going for a more difficult combination.
Absolutely. So, yep, you are correct. I have been waiting for this moment to talk about Gabby Daleman winning a world medal. And I need to get this on video. Most people don't understand this. I've been a fan of Gabby's since she was a junior skater. And if
this is like the moment.
Yes, and if you're wondering why, not you, but the viewers, I liked her dark features. I thought she looked really beautiful. Her jumps were great when they were on, and they weren't on a lot back then. So I looked at her and I was like, when she's on with all of her jumps, with better choreography and some more artistic growth, she has the potential to be something great. And she already is. But Gabby, you need to keep this up for next year to continue getting rewarded by the judges.
I kind of worry for both Canadians in that I don't want them. I kind of feel like this is a fluke. Like I kind of worry that they're not going to be able to maintain this next season, or that there's going to be some head games where it's like, oh my God, we had 2 Canadians on the podium, and I was silver and I was bronze, and like, how am I going to be able to keep this up? And it's an Olympic year, and like, I feel like that could happen. I hope it doesn't, but I could see that happening with the both of them. Also, Gabby Daleman, A+ with your Instagram. Whenever she has like an ab photo, like, bless.
Absolutely. It would be good if they both made the Grand Prix final next year, but that's going to be really hard.
It's an Olympic year. I don't see it. It feels like a fluke, but like an amazing one because the pre-Olympic Worlds is the most important world. So, I mean, amazing. But I kind of don't see it continuing, even though I hope, especially for Gabby, that it does continue. Because Canadians, the ladies is really the only area where they don't dominate.
Absolutely. So speaking of flukes, let's hope the fourth place finisher at Worlds, Karen Chen of the US, is not a fluke because she did an amazing job to help us secure 3 spots for the ladies. Oh, for the Olympics. Man, were you sweating about us keeping our 3 spots?
I would just like to say that, like, even like a day before the Lady Short program, everyone wanted Karen Chen to not be going to Worlds. We all wanted like Mariah to be replaced because we knew what Four Continents was, and that was pretty much an unacceptable result. And we were so worried. I am not like exempt from that. I was one of those who was calling
Me
for
too.
Karen Chen to be off the world team, and she came here and she proved everyone, including the both of us, wrong. And she was amazing. And I all the props to her for that. I know that she was, I think it was injured. She had some on ice incident, and she came out here and she showed everyone that she deserved her national title. That Four Continents was the fluke, not the nationals. And so I'm just, yeah, go Karen Chen. I mean, she did it. At the end of the day, it wasn't Ashley Wagner, our world silver medalist. It was Karen Chen, and she did it. And just props to her.
And I gotta say, I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I don't like using the word potential on new and upcoming skaters because I'm tired of hearing that word. I want skaters
Oh, I
to
know this.
prove to me that they can compete and, have a good, stable mentality when they're in competitions. And I think Karen Chen, if she has one more good competition under her belt, it will prove to me that she's ready to fight with the big guns in the world. But oh, that short program, she must have had so much pressure on her to skate that on Golden Pond short program. That was really beautiful. Maybe a generous collar on the Let's and Toe, but I'm thankful for it.
I feel like that's her one thing that we really need to work on with Karen Chen is getting that toe down on the combinations. Like really, come on, Karen. Like that's the thing that's kind of holding her back a bit. Also, change the costumes and get slightly better programs. They're not terrible, but get slightly better ones. Like we're going for like world medalist here, so let's get like a choreographer that can kind of get you there and get better costumes, and like her packaging will be complete.
Well, she's won some prize money now from nationals and worlds. Maybe she can afford a better choreographer and costumes.
Yeah, go to like a Jeff Buttle,
Yeah, yeah. Let's make her
David
look like
Wilson.
a lady. Yes, but I gotta say, Nicole, watching that long program of hers, she was hitting everything, and I was like, "Oh yes, Jesus has answered my prayers." And I never pray to Jesus, so it's a beautiful thing.
I mean, it's crazy to think that if what usually happens had happened and like one of the Canadians had had a meltdown, because that happens,
Mhm.
at Worlds,
Yeah,
Karen Chen would have been on the podium.
that's still a crazy idea to think about. World bronze medalist Karen Chen. Hmm.
That's insane. Like I can't wrap my head around that yet.
Absolutely. Oh, it was a shame that she had a fall and then made a mistake on another jump right after, but it did not ruin the program. And thankfully, they were towards the end. So American fans got to have a moment, for most of that program. And I gotta say, we did have some help in achieving those 3 spots. We'll talk about those ladies afterwards.
Oh
Um,
Lord, yes.
yes, so go Karen Chen. What's the next major event? Maybe she'll be sent to World Team Trophy. Maybe we'll see how she does there. Maybe she'll get sent to Skate America, and I would hope that she would land on the podium there.
Yeah, you and I were discussing this because we were discussing like who are they going to send to Skate America? Is it going to be Karen or is it going to be Ashley? And we both hope that it's Karen. So,
Absolutely. Now, don't
oh,
get me
Karen,
wrong, people. I love Ashley Wagner, but I will
our
also
girl.
show her some tough love. And we're not even discussing her yet, but we can discuss this right now. She's had kind of a lackluster season, which is not something you would expect from the reigning world silver medalist. So until she gets back up in tip top form, maybe she doesn't get the special treatment from USFSA.
And maybe that'll give her the motivation that I feel
Yeah,
she's needing right
yeah. And
now.
I don't say this in a bad way. Like, make her work for it. And I think it'll be good for her to work for it again. Like, she likes being the underdog. She's a
Mhm.
fighter. Put her in a position to fight for it.
I mean, of the senior ladies right now, Ashley Wagner is my favorite, but I can still be honest that this was not a good year for her.
No. So let's talk about Mai Mihara really quick because she placed fifth. Fifth overall? Let's see here. Yeah, fifth. So Mai Mihara was 15th after the short program, believe it or not, and fourth in the long. So she did what no one should ever do in the short program if you're a top lady, which is double a jump and fall on it. You lose so many points. Oh boy. But she came back with a strong free program. Not my personal taste. It makes her look like a junior skater skating to Cinderella. But she hit all the jumps. I want to give her a makeover too. But I think I think she's a good skater for the future for Japan.
Yeah, I think that mistake in the short is one that kind of screams, "Oh my God, this is my first world
Exactly.
championships," and like we don't have like the top ladies here, and it's up to us to save the three spots. And it was kind of like one of those like freakouts. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I agree with you. Like the one thing I was going to say about her is that long program, she does look like a junior. She looks young in the face and she skates young. The programs are young, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being young, but at the same time, she's skating against some women and like an Ashley Wagner. And when you're comparing like an Ashley Wagner and her maturity to Mai Mihara, it's kind of like, okay, this kind of program belongs in the juniors.
Absolutely. I prefer her teammate Wakaba, her presentation, although she had not so great performances here, so that's unfortunate. But hopefully Mai gets some style help next season. I really hope so.
I mean, who's going to be on the Japanese ladies team for
Oh
the
yeah,
Olympics?
they only have two spots. You think Marin Honda and Satoko.
Yes, like if Marin Honda doesn't make it, you don't understand. Like I'm going to cry for like years over that.
So don't hate me, but I still haven't seen Marin Honda skate yet. That should change soon though.
Boy.
I know. When she's assigned a senior Grand Prix, that'll change. Okay, so why don't we talk about a skater you love, Carolina Kostner, who finished the seventh here. Oh no, sixth.
Six. Okay, I was gonna say. Carolina is so good. She should have won the Olympics in 2014, and I will always love her. She's amazing. It's hard for me to even like look at like no, she doesn't have the most technically difficult programs. It's like, but do you see her edges and her footwork? Like it's like I can't even like think about her in terms of like that technical stuff because I'm just amazed by her womanness
Her
out
body
there.
is
And like
beautiful, long, straight back.
yes, it's just like she is a woman out there. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these they're girls. Carolina's a woman.
She's a
And like
class act as well.
oh God, I mean, I really do love the footwork in the short. Like I respond to that a lot. Just Carolina, like I really hope that she kind of upgrades her technical difficulty because she should have been higher here.
You think
It
so?
like well, no, I mean not based off of like what she did and everything
Oh,
like that, but I mean
theoretically
like based off,
speaking,
like
yeah.
yes.
I thought so too. I actually thought she was in contention for a medal. And then she started skating. I was like, oh, okay. And you have to remember, I didn't watch a lot of Carolina's old skating. So I just knew that she should be placed high.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the technical really set her back. But I will say she was a delight to watch.
She's wonderful. I mean, I still watch Bolero at the Olympics all the
That
time.
was a
Like
good
that.
one. That was a really good one.
Oh God. Yeah, Carolina, please, please. I love you so much.
All right, speaking of girls we love, seventh place, Ashley Wagner. Gosh, my girl, she showed up for the short program. Here's the thing. She did what she had to do. She rotated her jumps. Triple flip, triple toe, boom, all rotations clean. Spins, all level 4, level 3 step sequence. The judges were not rewarding her on GOE or on the program component marks. So she was in contention for a podium finish heading into the long programs, and it just did not happen. That long program, I'm not sure what it was. I love the music exogenesis, but when she turned that combination to a triple flip single toe, it was done. And that was unfortunate because the double axel to open that program was one of the best she had ever done.
The thing that I was thinking about, like, what I wanted to say about Ashley's season, and the thing I was thinking, like, when I was looking at it overall, is like, I feel like Ashley needs a kick in the butt. Like, it's kind of like, this is the like pre-Olympic year, and it seems like she didn't have like her morning coffee like this entire season. You know what I mean? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of seems like she just didn't have that like energy. Like, Skate America a little bit, but like from there on out, it was just kind of like there wasn't that fire that we normally see when Ashley is an underdog. And I feel like after whatever her second Grand Prix was, I don't remember, where she didn't even make the final, it wasn't even like the most like, it was a good nationals. It wasn't an amazing nationals. And then it was like worlds was just kind of ugh. And then it just didn't seem like she had fire. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that we normally see from Ashley.
It was almost as if she achieved her world silver medal, which she earned, and then kind
Yes.
of thought she was able to rest a little bit, even though she sounded different in interviews. You know, she said, I can't rely on this title. It's a new
Mhm.
season, which I agree with, but she was kind of competing as if she was comfortable with the fact that she already got her silver medal, which is not the thing we want Ashley to do. We want Ashley on fire. And Ashley, she had the potential to win nationals. It wasn't like Karen was outrageously great that it was
Mhm.
impossible for Ashley. Ashley could have, and she could have placed much higher at Cup of China.
That's the thing, is like I feel exactly like that. Like, Ashley just, it seems like she was comfortable with the world silver medal, and she didn't really like go further. Like, it kind of seems like the programs, both of them, seem kind of lazy in like their concepts even. I mean, she didn't really do anything for the short. She took an exhibition. It wasn't like a brand new something or other. And the long was, it was her second choice, and it looks like a second choice. You know what I
Yes,
mean? It looks like a second created program. It doesn't look like, it looks like a B minus, C plus, rather than like an A, which Moulin Rouge was. I love the
absolutely.
dress.
Yeah, these were not her best programs. Good programs, not her best. I mean, we're comparing it to Hip Hip Chin Chin and my ultimate favorite short program, Pink Floyd, and then some good Moulin Rouge and Samson and Delilah. So we have confirmed from an article from USA Today that she has chosen her music for her programs next year. She's going back to Hip Hip Chin Chin for the short, which I think is a good idea. Sell the
Mhm.
heck out of that one. And then she wants to do selections from La La Land, which you're a part of. Well, I mean, which you're a fan of. I'm a little uneasy right now, but I believe in it.
I'm very excited for it because I can really see her trying to be Mia from La La Land, like with the audition, and like I'm always the underdog, and I never quite make it, and then I do, which is why I feel like she's going to use audition a little bit. But I'm really excited for that program so much because I adore La La Land, so I'm slightly biased there. But I mean, anything could be better than this song. From the time she announced the music, I was like, this isn't going to be good, and then I was not swayed at all from that throughout the season.
Absolutely. I'm hoping for the best. I Unpopular opinion. I would love the Olympic team to include Ashley and Gracie. Everyone questions Gracie. I have a feeling she's going to come back strong next season.
Oh, also, question. Like, okay, Ashley, love her to death. Like I said, she's my favorite senior lady competing right now. I love her. What in the world was she talking about when she said that she was going to add so many transitions to the short? And it was going to, I watched that short program and I was like, where?
Yeah, I watched a short program ready for some different new transitions. I didn't see them. I maybe saw some in the long, not many. I don't know. She said she went to Jeff Buttle, to work on the short program and to add in some new nuances and transitions. I didn't see many things that were different. In fact, she took away my favorite move, where after she did the combinations, she does like a, what do you call it? That dance move, a twizzle out of it. She used to do like at least two rotations, and this time it was just one. I was like, no, you made my favorite move like less
My
fabulous.
favorite was in the footwork. She did like this toe pick hop right there, and she like did this with her arm in the middle of the footwork, and she took that out. That was in there, so I was kind of like, huh, well, it didn't have the same impact that it did at Skate America.
Hmm.
And also, she got lucky with some of those calls in the short. Like, there were under rotations, arguably on like all of the jumps. So
The
she
double
got lucky.
axle landing, man, axles are hard for some people. That was a tough landing, and whew,
I am scared that that's becoming a thing for her now, that double axle, because ever since nationals, now it's like, oh, scary here. Like, I know that she in the past wasn't the best axle girl, but like it hasn't been that big of an issue, but now I'm scared.
absolutely, me too. Let's just hope for the best next season. Let's
I
see
love her.
here.
So yes.
Absolutely. No, I want to be like, Ashley, you've blown me away. Where was this at Worlds next year or last year? I want to be able to say that all next season. Are
Like Olympic silver medalist Ashley Wagner. That would be amazing.
Oh my gosh, I would love it. Anyways, besides Ashley, is there anyone else you want to talk about?
Mariah Bell.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, because I love Mariah so much, and she like there's something about her where she has this, especially this season, she has this kind of X factor to her, to where I'm really into it. I love that short program so much. Also, best kiss and cry moment of this entire World Championships is after the short program when she's like trying to get Rolf to calm down, and he's like you don't need to tell me to calm down. Like
That
I'm
was
fine.
funny.
I'm not affected here, honey. Like best of this World Championships. Um, yeah, this wasn't the best for her. I feel like she kind of was like, I feel like Karen Chen kind of screwed it up for her in a way because I feel like it was kind of like, uh-oh, Karen Chen didn't do good at four continents. It's up to me to save the U.S. for three spots. You know what I mean? Like, and this is her first Worlds, and so it was kind of like Karen Chen didn't have as much pressure going in because she had screwed up four continents, and Mariah Bell did better than Karen Chen, so it was kind of like she thought that she was gonna have to be the one. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
And maybe because she was training with Ashley, she kept hearing the three spots, retained three spots. Maybe a little more than Karen.
And continuing her trip, like her, she's used like Nancy Kerrigan music this year and stuff. So like, no wait, that was last season. When would she do Born on the 4th of July?
That was last season, so not this
Last season.
season. Yeah.
Thank you. This year was East of Eden. I got confused in my head. Anyways, she's doing Beauty and the Beast next year.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Um, some people were asking me if I thought that Mariah Bell should have been replaced by Mariah Nagasu. And I was like, we can't keep playing these games, people. But I actually thought it was a good experience for Mariah because you have to remember she's relatively inexperienced on the international scene. She was an alternate to Skate America, did not attend Champs Camp, had some international senior Bs, which I think are different from a four continents and a world. So I thought that they were respectable skates for Mariah. I'm glad she went. I don't think we needed to replace her or Karen. Um, so I don't know. I just think Mariah Bell is going to take away good things from Worlds. Like she has that like daunting experience under her belt, and she doesn't have to feel guilty like Ashley Wagner did after her first Worlds in 2008, where she's like, I was part of the team that lost the third spot. She doesn't have that guilt over her. So I
Mm-hmm.
think hopefully she's assigned Skate America. I would give her Skate America, and hopefully she kicks butt there.
The what like saying that like, oh, Mariah should have replaced Mariah, that to me is just like a hindsight thing,
Hmm.
because like if Mariah had done better than Karen Chen here, we wouldn't be saying that at all. And before this, it was like the only thing that we had to go off of was that Karen Chen did really bad at four continents. And so I don't think that I think that the USFSA made the right decision by keeping Mariah Bell on the team.
Uh-huh. Although sometimes it's hard to trust USFSA.
They make bad decisions all the time. but this was not one of them.
Yes,
We'll get
thankfully
to pairs.
so. So we have Mariah Bell. I thought it was overall a good performance from her. Otherwise, can I talk about Elizabeth Turzenbayeva and not her skating, but her mom? Was the funniest thing of the whole competition. Did you see the clips of her mom being crazy in the kiss and cry?
No, I didn't.
Nicole, you are missing out. Short program over long program. She did it both times. So I'm gonna imitate her mom. Yay, yay, yay! And the kiss and cry, yay, yay, yay! And Brian Orser goes, "Oh, your mom is funny." And then Elizabeth had to go like, "Mom, stop it! Like, stop, stop."
You're embarrassing me.
And then the long program, her mom did it too. And then Elizabeth was like, "She's doing it on purpose now." There's a few memes and vines out there.
That's adorable. She's adorable. Like we met her in Boston, and she is the tiniest
She's the
skater that
tiniest creature ever.
she comes up about to like my hip, and I'm like 5'5". So yeah, she's an itty bitty.
Absolutely. All right, so that is good for ladies. Let's move on to pairs. Sui and Han of China were able to capture the title, and it was actually a really close competition between Sui Han and Aliona and Bruno of Germany. Overall, I think the judges made the right call by giving it to Sui and Han.
Me too. Totally agree with that.
Cleaner programs overall, didn't go for the super difficult elements besides the quad twist and the long, but executed everything like really well. And I would actually give them the edge in components
Me too.
also.
And I told you in the text, I was like, she's going to miss the sow because she never lands that sow, and it's so like heartbreaking because the program is gorgeous. The bridge over troubled water. At Four Continents, I was kind of like, oh, it's nice. But now I've watched it like 20 times, more than like any other program from Worlds. I love it so much. They are just amazing. Like, I think that the judges want to like make them Olympic champions if they're clean. And like, I would love that because they have everything. I mean, even the first like 15 seconds of their long program is just them doing crossovers. There's like 8 of them.
I noticed that.
That they just do. And it's like, go do more. I don't care. It's beautiful. They're like, it's so precise, and they're just selling it so much that it's just, it's incredible.
They both remind me of Shoma Uno because they're super small, but they just project so big into the audience.
They are a lot like Shoma in that way. And also because like, they're kind of like, they're a little like goofy beforehand. Like, he somehow went to the other end of the ice before he started the long program, and she kind of looks and she's like, what are you doing? Like,
That was
get over
funny. That was really funny.
Yeah, and then they just immediately, it's like flip switched, and they just go into their like really dramatic, intense program, and they just feel the music, and it's wonderful.
Absolutely. You know
I'm
what?
so happy.
She fell on the sow cow in the long program. I didn't care. I don't think most people cared because it was early on in the program. I think enough people forgot about it. Like they had a moment. They were both in tears at the end of their long program. Oh, well deserved.
Oh, I love them so much. I mean, I tend to love their shorts more. They had an amazing short in 2015, and then last year they had that brilliant short program as well. I really love the Blues for Clique too, but the Bridge Over Troubled Water is becoming like just a thing for me. I love it so much. And they just I remember when she cut her hair, and it was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. And now I think it's like it adds to like her X factor, because she is like one of the best pair girls of all time. Like just the quality and just the star power of Wenjing Sui, like just amazing.
I like that she never moves the hair out of her face. It's like, it's in her way. She's skating backwards.
It's a detail.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's a detail. Give her more points for that. Like, love her to pieces. I'm so glad that they are world champions. And
Actually,
like, especially this year.
I would
love
go so far to say that they are the most dynamic Chinese pair world champions ever. Like, they're not safe. Like, I thought some of the other
Chen and
Chinese...
Zhao?
I find Sui and Han a little more exciting.
You're gonna like...
I know. I will own up to it. But no, I just think Sui and Han are so exciting to watch. And I actually love their short program more than their long.
I love the short too. They do steal some of the moves from their last year's short, but not so many. And also, we need to talk about the cameraman of this world. Fire him. There's no way, like, okay, when you're
There are
doing like a
some
footwork,
parts, there are some parts where it's cool, and then other parts where it's like, what are you doing?
like the footwork sequences, why would you go to like the overhead view of footwork? That shows me nothing. That doesn't show me the depth of the edge during like what is all about like edges and skating skills and the moves and stuff. Like I fire that person.
Yeah, that person probably doesn't know a lot about skating. Just saying.
No.
Okay, so what do you think of Aliona and Bruno?
Amazing. I thought that like they could have gone either way, given it to either Aliona or to Sway. And I personally think that Sway and Han deserved it. But Aliona was amazing. I really loved the long, which was they kind of tried to do like what the French did in dance last season, and I think both were Patrick Wilson, who sang both songs. Forget me if I'm wrong or something. But they are wonderful, and especially because they haven't been together that long. Like for a pair, like they haven't been together all that long, and yet they're doing like triple axel throws.
That was
You know
impressive.
what I mean?
Yeah, and
Like,
they're also older, but that doesn't seem to hold them back. So it's almost like they have wisdom from experience, and that helps them be a top pair so quickly.
and I love their short program. It's so much fun, especially the footwork sequences in it. Like they just have really cool little moves and stuff in it that I love. I don't know
Yeah.
about you.
And Aliona is kind of a queen. Aliona and Wei Jingswei both, like, they command the ice.
They do, and like their twist is just amazing. Aliona and Bruno's, and she just like Aliona. I like hope she's like keeps skating when she's like 75 because like I feel like she could just still go out there and be doing like triples like it's nothing. Like that's just Aliona.
Absolutely. So, Nicole, I'm going to need your help talking about the bronze medal winners here because they bore me to death. Evgenia Trasova and Vladimir Morozov.
I think that the best thing that I could say about them is what I texted you, and I said something like they're the equivalent of a lampshade.
Oh, yeah, that's
They serve
right.
a purpose. They serve a purpose. They land the jumps.
They get the job
Pretty
done.
much it.
You're not terribly excited about
There's
them?
nothing to them. They're there. They do what they have to do. The programs are not good, and it's not even memorable. Like I couldn't tell you what they were skating to. I got it
Yeah,
wrong. I thought they were still skating to Riverdance.
Please, they couldn't skate to Riverdance. Or did they
Didn't they do
before?
that? They did like not Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Dance, Riverdance, something like that. Like it was an Irish program. She wore a green dress. I remember.
Oh, I do remember them in green. Not their color. So,
No, it's not their color.
okay, well, I'm glad I'm not alone on that with them. Hopefully, our viewers are the same way. I gotta admit, I did not watch Xiao Yu Yu or Hao Zhang, the Chinese pair that finished fourth here.
I watched them a little bit. I think I watched one of the programs. I didn't watch the other program. I watched the long, but not the short. I mean, we kind of were all like, why would you switch these partnerships of Yu Jin and father-daughter? I can't even remember her name. But it seems to have worked out fairly well. I mean, neither team was placing like as well throughout the season, like, right? Like, this is like
That's correct.
way better. So, I mean, good for them. He's going to be skating until he's 75. I can feel it. Like, I feel like Aliona could. I feel like this guy's going to be skating when he's 75 years old. Just throwing the next pair girl up in the air.
Whew, I pray for those Chinese girls.
Always. Like, how do they not constantly break their ankles? Also, side note about Sway and Han, the fact that they were able to do what they did after coming back from that surgery that she had,
That's
just
right.
even respect for her.
Yeah. Do you remember what her injury was again? Because they were out quite a bit this season.
It had to do with the ligaments in her ankles. Like they were just like something happened to them. I don't remember what. I feel like she didn't have ligaments in her ankles or something. It was this big deal. And yeah, like she wasn't even walking or something. So like props to her.
Hmm. Yeah. So now I remember why I didn't watch this Chinese pair because I wanted the other pair to be at Worlds because they have my
They're
favorite
short.
short program, My Drag by Lori Nicole, the head tapping. So I think I was so upset that they were not at Worlds. I mean, it's not anybody's fault, or is it someone's fault? But, I just couldn't watch, a Chinese pair if they were not there.
Are we gonna go Canadian pairs now or US?
Let's see here. So, fifth place was, oh, Stoboba and Klimov. I gotta say, not a good short program. I actually enjoyed their long program.
I'm never the biggest fan of them
I mean, they made
personally.
mistakes, but I I couldn't take my eyes off of them in the long program for some weird reason. I mean, they were third in the free, 13th after the short, so something had to happen for them to like have fire to skate like that.
As bad as it seems, like I am never able to forget their Europeans from a couple years back whenever they skate or whenever I hear about them. I always think back to Europeans from a few years back when he fell and she was so pissed at him, and that to me is what defines this team, and I can't get rid
That
of
was
that.
so
So every time they
funny.
skate, I'm just like, well, that was good.
She wears the pants in the relationship.
I think he's scared of her.
Absolutely.
I would be.
Okay, and then we let's go on to the Canadians. Lubov and Dylan Moskovich were in sixth place in the final scorings, and they were the top placing Canadian pair. And I'd say they skated pretty darn well here. Short program. When Lubov lands her jumps, the programs are magical.
They are. I mean, I don't love the programs, but they're fine. They have like an a refined quality or like trying to be elegant kind of thing. I
Working on it.
still miss him with more towers. Like that's kind of like that to me was like what X Factor is. Like they had some spunk, and I don't really see it with these two, but they're good. They're fine.
I couldn't help but think while watching them that with Megan and Eric making these mistakes, that Kirsten and Dylan, if they were still a pair, could be the ones shooting for a world medal.
They were knocking on the doors of it in like 2014 even. So
Hmm.
like the fact that they split is just it's the biggest travesty. It was one of like the worst splits post Sochi that we had.
Absolutely. Okay, and then shall we talk about the struggles of Megan and Eric of Canada? Seventh overall is not what people expected.
I personally had them fourth. I didn't know that they would do this bad. I think that both programs this year weren't as good as their programs from last year. It just kind of seemed like it wasn't really going their way. And the thing about Megan and Eric is that if they're not clean, all the little details in their skating that aren't perfect, just you can pick on them so much more because like, well, they're not clean and all of this other little details like with her line, the leg wrap, that becomes more apparent. And this season it was kind of like those little details were just showing and just glaring that much more
Hmm.
because they weren't clean.
And their minds are probably really active right after the first mistake, trying to think about how to make up points. Actually, that's hard to do in pairs. I'm thinking of single skatings, on trying to make sure that they can maximize the points from all of their remaining elements. And sometimes that shows. They may not be speaking to each other on the ice like they used to a few years ago, but you can see their mind going.
Oh, that Megan is a chatterbox. Like I know in her head she's going like, okay, I need to do this or else I'm not going to get 77. And if I don't get the 77, that means we're going to have to get this in the long. And so I need to do this right. Like I can like tell that she's just going a mile a minute at all times.
Absolutely. I don't think they're completely out of it though for next season. I think if they have a strong enough start that they could be back to being world medal contenders, even
I
gold
don't see
medal
them as the
contenders.
Olympic champions. I don't
It's going to be really tough.
for them. Yes.
Ooh, because yeah, they'll compete be competing against Sui and Han and Alion and Bruno. They could beat the Russians.
They could beat the Russians.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Any other pairs you'd like to talk about?
Julianne and Charlie and the Americans.
So how did Julian and Charlie do? I did not watch them, but here on the screen I see them
And
as
we love
11th
them, and
place.
we didn't.
They're
Yeah.
amazing, but
Yeah.
apparently not here.
No. What did they place? Was it 12th?
11th overall.
11th. Okay. So, like, they need to just go back to their programs from last year. I think they did in the short. Go back to the other long and just go out there and sell the crap out of it and be the amazing little Canadian babies
Be
that we know.
happy.
Yeah, because that's what we love about them is that they are so like sunshine and rainbows. Like they're just like happy and cute and adorable, and it's like
And it's
go
not forced
happy.
and it's not cheesy and they're genuinely friends with each other. So it just all
Are they
works.
more?
Oh, they could be more. They haven't officially said anything, so I don't want to be the one to say it, but something's
They have
genuine
that.
between them.
Yeah, they kind of have that like, are they dating thing? Like especially like early like Tessa and Scott, where it's like, what's going on there?
Hmm.
Kind of, yeah. Love them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then Alexa Skemeka Knierim and Chris Knierim from the US. What a nice return to competition. I mean, I know they officially came back in four continents, but really, let's admit it, Worlds is the big one. Great short program. Chris stuck out the landing of their side by side sow cows, and they had to fight through some things in the long. But overall, I think it was a pretty good showing for them. Really emotional to see them skate so well. I mean, it was like they put their heart out on their sleeves.
I mean, I was so happy for them because really they did it. They got us the 2 spots. I know we didn't get 2 spots, but in my heart we got 2 spots.
So we got two
And
spots for the Worlds, just not the
yes, but
Olympics.
Olympics. So like really they did it. I mean, they did the best that they could have done, and it's not their fault that they got screwed because of a scoring technicality thing
Or a
for
weird
the
ISU
Olympics.
rule. Hmm.
We can blame Haven Denny for that. I almost said Haven and Denny.
Absolutely. No blame at all should be placed on Alexa or Chris. And I would give them the Olympic spot
Me too.
in
No
advance.
one else has done what they have. Like no one else has really gotten like as high as they have in U.S. pairs. Like
Hmm.
they've made the Grand Prix final. They are the ones who should go. They have earned their spot in my mind. And I know that Tim and Ashley are great in their upcoming, but I would still give it to Alexa.
Yeah, and how do I put it this way? Some people love the idea of having additional spots to give younger skaters experience, but when it comes to pairs, I don't want to give the spot to a younger team if we're not sure they're going to stick together long term. Like, I was devastated when Felicia Zhang announced that she was retired. I was like, what? No, you and Nathan had this awesome experience to build off of at the Olympics. Like, you really could have gone further. So, yeah, I'm willing to give it to Alexa and Chris.
Me too. And I really think that Tim and Ashley, they have that um, they have that quality to them to where they could go far, but we haven't seen enough of it yet, and we won't
Hmm.
by the Olympics.
Side by side loops. Whew.
Money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, are we ready to move on to dance?
Yes!
Woo!
Was it a fall?
So I gotta say, Nicole, dance is what I pay attention to least, but I caught up this morning, spent 2 hours watching all the programs, and I was into it. And I'm gonna have some opinions that are gonna surprise you because I already told our friend Kanishka, and he was like, "Who is this? And what have you done with Justin?"
Okay. I'm
Hmm.
excited.
Okay,
I'm
so let's
excited.
start with the winners, Tessa, Virtue, and Scott Moir, reclaiming their world title, and rightfully so. That short program, or no, that short dance is my favorite short dance this season or ever.
Mine
But
too.
But I can't say
19.
ever because I haven't seen many. But this season, theirs is the only one that excites me, or excites me the most. And for whatever reason, I can't put my finger on it, I think it was done the best here. And they've skated that really well many times.
They're so precise with it, and just there's so much nuance to it, especially in the midline step sequence that they do during the kiss section. I love that program. I like it even more as of right now than their Dream a Little Dream from 2014, which was my favorite short dance at that point in time. This is my favorite now. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's better than their long or their free. Uh, love.
The music cut
Love.
is perfect too, and the choreographer was brilliant. My favorite part is the twizzles going into at the end where Prince does
Train.
the vocal runs. Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's, oh God, that program is so good. I mean, I kind of wish that she went with the practice outfit that she was wearing because it was black. It was the same outfit, but she had black at the top instead of the purple, and I really like that. But otherwise, just brilliant.
You're
So
not
good.
gonna like this, but I miss the dance or the dress she had when they first debuted the program at Autumn Classic. It was like a big jacket, puffy. Not a lot of people loved it, but maybe that's why she changed it. I personally did, but I have quirky tastes, so that's me.
I liked it, but I thought it kind of distracted from her line a bit, and I thought that the dress was a little bit too poofy. But otherwise, yeah, it was an okay dress for her.
Okay, so let's talk about the free dances. I must say,
Okay.
none of the free dances earlier this year excited me. Maybe it's, this figure skating week with the world championships. I started liking every free dance that I rewatch. Maybe everyone's bringing it because
Hmm.
this is the most important competition of the year. But yeah, I
Yeah.
like this free dance skated at Worlds than any other time earlier this season. And that mistake by Scott was uncalled for. It was a total shock.
Was it a fall?
I say no.
I
Um,
say no.
so you can explain in your dance terms, but for me, with watching so much single skating, I always think of a fall as if your butt or if your knee touches the ice. But you say in dance it's different because it depends on if your weight was on your hand, right?
No, I think it's the same for singles as
Okay.
well. It depends on where the majority of your weight is. It defines it as the majority of the weight needs to be on the blade, and it can't be on, the majority can't be on your hand, your butt, your back, but it also says mainly on the blade, but it specifies hand, butt, back. Anyways, so he does put the hand down and it does touch. And I do think that there is a little bit of weight on it because how can you not if it touches the ground? But I don't think that it is near enough to consider it a fall. It was very quick and then it was like back up. You know what I mean? I've watched it, I've like paused it, I've like looked, like where's the angle? I've like thought in my own skating, like when I've done like stuff like that where I put the hand down, like how where am I putting the weight? And I don't think that it was um, a fall at all. And I think that the discussion around it has gotten ridiculous. It wasn't a fall. It was a mistake. Their only real major mistake they have made at Senior Worlds ever. And
Absolutely. And it seemed like Scott was really smart about it. He was really quick back up on his feet, straight back into character, you know.
yeah, and have you noticed that like okay, so like for the majority of their career, except for when they were in juniors, because when they were in juniors, like Scott was always like the least consistent of the two, and then once they got into seniors, it flipped, and then he was more consistent than Tessa. Now I feel like it's flipped back, and now Tessa's more consistent than Scott, kind of,
I
because
don't know that history, but I agree with the last part. I would say Tessa's more consistent.
if you remember in the Olympic year, Tessa's twizzles were a mess, and I love
Mm.
them, and they are my favorites ever. But I can admit that Tessa's twizzles were a hot disaster. Now it's like if they make a mistake, it's like Scott making the mistake.
Absolutely. So here's the next question regarding that. I also saw discussion, was the fall or not fall, did it happen during the element or was it transitioning out of the element?
So it was right on the border. And if
Hmm.
you look at their protocols, the minus is on the circular step sequence. that is where if they got negative GOE, it was there. Overall, they didn't get negative GOE, but like some of the judges did award them like a -2 because of that is where I'm assuming where they put the mistake at or the fall is what I mean. But I think personally that it was on a transition, not on the actual circular step, which means that they did get dinged, but probably not where they should have been dinged at.
Absolutely. Is that why they lost the level? Because I see here on the protocol, circular step level 3.
Well, they got the 3 and the French got the 3. So they
Okay,
tied as far as levels. I'm pretty sure. I think they both tied. Yeah, if
let
I'm
me check
correct.
here. Oh yeah, you are correct.
Yeah, so they usually, Tessa and Scott, if I remember from previous years, they usually get one of their step sequences is a 3 and then the other's 4. But that's always been the thing, if I remember correctly.
Okay,
This is
gotcha.
protocol history.
Yeah, so speaking of the French, they actually won the free dance. But they lost the competition assuming that they were going for gold. I think they were from the short dance. They were behind.
I don't think that they should have won, personally. I think that their programs this year have not been their best. And I love the French. Like, I have gone on record as saying, like, their free dance last year
You
is one
loved
of my
them last year in Boston.
yeah, their free dance is one of my favorites from last season. But this year, the material didn't excite me in the same way as like the To Build a Home program or
Oh,
whatever
that was so
did.
beautiful.
It was gorgeous, and this one is just a little bit too um, out there for me. Like just slightly like more. I don't know. I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is. It's just not. It's not like a clear winner. It's one where like you got to think about it and it's got to like settle with you for me, and it
Hmm.
hasn't yet.
I
I just
feel
don't
ya.
connect to it in
Will
the
you
same way.
say that this is the best they've ever performed at free dance this season, though?
Yeah.
I felt that way. Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've talked about this before, but the French are really different kind of skaters from
Mm-hmm.
Tessa and Scott. I can't put my finger on how to describe it, but they're both great, just different. And I feel like next season it could go either way whenever they're skating head to head in competitions.
So I feel like the French are much more like they can't really box themselves into a particular like style, which is why like they're in the short they're always behind
Hmm.
because they can never like get the right rhythm. You know what I mean? Like of like the rumba next year. I feel like they are going to struggle with that so hard, but in the free, they don't have those kind of restrictions where it's like they have to really fit the certain do the rumba or do swing or whatever the waltz last year, which I feel like they can kind of get away with it a little bit more there. But that's kind of to me a big problem with their skating. But in the free, it doesn't matter, and so they can kind of hide it and they can kind of do their own like very artistic thing.
Hmm.
What Tessa and Scott can do is that they're much more chameleons and they're much more versatile. And that they can do different styles and they can do different things and they can fit themselves into the boxes when need be. They can count the waltz and they can do the waltz, yet they can go and they can do a very sexy program. And I don't think that the French really have that level of versatility to them.
Hmm. I understand everything you just said. So that's a nice lesson for all of us. Excellent. Speaking of which, so their short dance by the French, wasn't there an incident with his hands being bloody because he caught the blade on the
It's not in,
twizzle?
was that in practice or something? I
Nope, that was
don't
in the program. So they got off
really.
the ice in the short dance with, some blood on his hands.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, he fought through it, which is whew, shows how much of an athlete you are to fight through a
Mhm.
program and not let a bloody hand, affect your character on the ice. So
That's
kudos
a
to him.
professional move.
Yes. And then let's move on to the winners of the bronze medal. Here in dance, I gotta say, Nicole,
So painful.
this week
Yes.
I preferred the Shibs over any other Americans
In both programs?
in both programs, especially the free
What?
dance. The free dance. I know I always say I love Madison Chalk because I love how she sells the program. I just wasn't feeling her. And I don't know. She almost seemed like an amateur ice dancer this week when compared to the other ice dance ladies. And Maya Shibutani is just, I don't know why. I saw her skills this weekend in ice dance. I like her more than I do like Alex, even though Alex performs more. But
Maya's a skater.
yes, I like their free dance. I can't say I love their short dance, but I like their free dance. And I'm happy that they won the bronze medal here. But it was close because they were trailing after the short dance, if I remember correctly.
I feel like they kind of have what where they get lucky is that they kind of have the best of both worlds of the American teams because you see Hubble and Donahue, who are arguably, but in my opinion, they're the third best team in the world,
Hmm.
quality wise. But their consistency is not great. They have a lot of mistakes and errors. So their quality is amazing, but they make a ton of mistakes. Then you have the other end of the spectrum, which is Madison Chalk, who skating skills are not good. She's not the best, but they're consistent generally. They do make some mistakes every now and then, but they're more consistent than Hubble and Donahue have been this season. So there's that. But then where the Shibs kind of fall right in the middle, where they have quality and they have consistency. It's not as like great of quality as Hubble and Donahue, but they still have quality and they still have consistency. And so they're really able to excel and ride the wave because they have both of those things.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Yes, I just wish. Okay, there are some people out there who love the Shibs to death and will criticize anyone who says anything negative about them. I've had those people attack me personally, but I will say so. They were my favorite American this week at Worlds. I just wish something about their skating was a tad bit more exciting or like big and bold. Or you know what I think it is? I think it's because people are going to hate me for this too. I think they're a brother and sister team, and that doesn't take away from how good of athletes they are. Is I like sex. I mean, I like seeing a
Yeah,
sexual connection on the ice. You see a guy,
especially
you
in
see a
dance.
girl, especially in dance. Like I want Madison and Evan to pull in on each other, get so close to a kiss, and Tessa and Scott do that, and the French, even Madison Hubble and Zach Donahue. But the Shibs, you just don't get that. And I wish there was. I wish they could do that
They
in a
skate like they're
program.
nice. They skate like they're
Exactly.
good. And they probably are really sweet and nice, and it comes across that way. But it's kind of like when you're watching dance, I want drama. I want, like, you know, Wen Jing Sui out there, like, earning her Oscar. Like,
Hmm.
that's kind of what I want in dance. And aside from like marvelous skating skills, which is also what you look for, but I'm talking about performance wise, you really want like drama. And they don't give you that. And part of that is because they can't give you that because they're very confined by the fact that they are brother and sister. And this has always been a thing. And they found a way around that last season with the Fix You program where it was not as big of an issue.
Hmm.
But this season, the program doesn't really work. And anytime the program doesn't work, it's going to be the first thing that we all talk about because it really is. It's kind of like a one in a million shot that they get the program that works.
So in other
The odds are more
words,
in the favor of it not working than of it working. You know what I mean?
when deciding their programs for next year, they should take their time and really make sure it's the right piece.
Oh, I say go back to Fix You.
Really?
Just
Okay.
play it safe. Play it safe. Go back to Fix You. It's going to be hard enough as it is them doing a rumba, which is all like, it's a Latin program. Like, they're not, I am worried about their short dance next year. So, like, play it safe. Go back to one that you know is a crowd pleaser and that is well liked, and just take that and do it again.
Absolutely. Okay, so moving on to Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget. I really enjoyed their skating this week, like both of their programs, especially the free, and I love the short dance as well. And I gotta say, they're not my favorite dancers in the past, but I like them this week. I don't know what it was. I was feeling it.
I like them too. I don't know. It's kind of hard because they don't have that like natural performance ability kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like they can perform, but they're not like super performers. They're not going to go out there and be a Tessa and Scott or a French who can like really sell it. They kind of hold back a bit more. Um, I mean, I like them. I don't really have much to say about them. I do like them. I'm happy that they were able to finish fourth here. I kind of feel like they are never going to get higher, even when Tessa and Scott and I think the French will continue, but like when Tessa and Scott retire, I still don't
They
like
can
Caitlin.
they can land above the Shibs though. There's potential for that.
I don't see it,
No?
but no. I think that Caitlin will probably win Canadian Nationals in 2019, probably, maybe, if she continues. But I don't really see them being like world champions ever.
I see.
I feel like that boat has passed.
Gotcha. So I think one of the main reasons why I liked watching them this week is because I like how they look as a pairing on the ice. Like two beautiful people, like
Yes,
beautiful
gorgeous.
bodies, regal. I felt like they didn't attack enough. And that's something that you have to have within you. Like kind of like if you're too
Their
nice of a
twizzles.
person. Yeah.
Their twizzles are always like they are crawling into them. I feel like it's not as bad as it has been in the past, but it's still like their twizzles are a mess.
Well, at least Andrew did not fall on them. That was a
There
blessing
is
for
that.
them. Yes.
Good
Okay.
job, Andrew.
Yay! And then let's see here. Do you have anything to say about the Russians? Because I did not watch them.
Um, the Pacific Ocean can fit between their hips
What does that mean?
because in ice dance
Oh, they're
you're supposed
farther
to
away
skate.
for apart?
Yeah, you're supposed
Okay.
to skate with your hips like that, pretty much, like really close together, and they're like that. So yeah, or as I think it was Quanette on Twitter, she said I could drive my Honda in between their hips.
Shout out to Quanette, such a cool lady.
Yeah, love her.
Right. What about the Italians?
They're sweet.
They're sweet. Did
Yeah,
you feel like they stuck to the same thing they've always done?
they will never crawl out of that box. I have accepted that about them.
Okay.
But Anna Capolini always wears gorgeous dresses, and she's gorgeous, and they are nice to watch. They have fine quality. They're not anything that like you're gonna like think about like 20 years from now as
Hmm.
like the definitive dancers of the era, but they're fine and they do what they do well enough.
Absolutely. She's a very beautiful woman. Okay,
I agree.
so Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, you know my stance on them. I love them so much. I love Madison Chalk and how she sells it on the ice. It was not calling to me this week in either program. Still looks gorgeous. The material was the same.
Hey, she's gonna do a rumba next season.
Woo woo woo.
Is it? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's the rumba. Anyways, starts with an R. Yeah, it's the rumba. Anyways,
Hmm.
so she's like stunning, like stunning. Um, and I think her skating skills are bad. They're not good. Um, but she does what she does well, which is like selling a program,
Hmm.
and that I will give her. But to me, these programs are Evan Bates dragging her
Hmm.
around the ice. Like she is on 2 feet for the majority of that, and he is dragging her across the ice, and that is just that's unacceptable to me. So seventh, I agree with that. I think that no one should be skating to like under pressure and like uptown. Like no.
You know what's
It's not
funny
a
is
good.
that I like both of those songs, but I don't think they're appropriate for an ice dance competition.
Yeah, the songs are good, but yeah, for ice dance, no, honey.
Absolutely. Were you surprised that they still ended up higher than Madison Hubble and Zachary Donahue?
Yes and no. I mean, after those results in the short, I thought that Hubble and Donahue had a chance, but then it was like, well, they're very inconsistent, and Madison has Igor, so not all that surprised.
So it sounds like, despite the fall that Zach took in the free dance, they still would not have been able to make the podium. Can you explain to us
They would have.
why you think so?
Yeah.
I just They were off by so many points. So Madison Hubble and Zachary Donahue, their total score was 177, and then the Shibs had 185. I mean, the fall could
Because
have
they
made up for it.
really slammed them in the free. Like they
Okay.
hardcore, and that's the better program is their free dance is
Yeah,
better than their short. To me, it was kind of like that score was kind of like, well, you had your chance, you blew it. And I started kind of talking to you about this, and I kind of mentioned it on Twitter, but I feel like it is time that we start talking about Hubble and Donahue and their what potential do they actually have when they have been given quite a few chances this season to beat Madison Chalk and even to beat the Shibs, and yet they haven't been able to do it. And every time there has been a tragic mistake that just breaks your heart. And we have talked a lot about, well, the judges just aren't giving them a chance. Well, the judges have been giving them a chance this season. And it's kind of been up to them to really step through the door. And every time it's like there is something holding them back to where they can't go out there and be Meryl Davis and just grab it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of time I think that we start turning to them and being like, well, why can't you? Because I
yeah.
feel like we treat them with a gentleness in a way because they are such fan favorites and they are so artistic and beautiful. And like I said, quality wise, I think they are the third best team in the world. However, their consistency, there's really no excuse for falling like that at nationals, at worlds, when you have the chance to step through the door that many times. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And they choose the worst times possible to make the biggest mistakes. Like, it's not a tiny, like, whoops, slip here, slip there. It's like a fall here and a fall there when the door was wide open. So maybe they just need to learn how to compete, but they've had so many years of practice. And I think Kanishka and I talked about this at one point. It's kind of like the Ashley Wagner where they want it too
Yes.
bad. Like, don't want it too bad. Just do what you know you can do and pretend nothing else exists.
I feel like it's kind of like an Ashley Wagner thing where like they almost don't believe that they are worth it or like they almost don't see themselves doing it.
Uh-huh.
And so it's like they can't. Like it's kind of like they get to that place where it's like, okay, we are third after the short dance at Worlds. Oh my God, are we that good? Are we actually going to be able to do it? What if we make a mistake?
Uh-huh.
Well, like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's when the head games start. Is once they are higher. I feel like when they are lower, a little easier for them to kind of skate a clean log program for
Like
free
they
dance.
want to be in that underdog position as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
which is scary.
And I gotta say, I think I've said this before in the past too. Their free dance is actually one of my favorites this season.
It is
Love
my
every
fear.
song selection. Maybe not so much that last one because it's a bit random. But otherwise, beautiful pieces of music. I feel like they should be dating because they look like they're dating on the ice, and that's what I like to see as an ice dance viewer.
Me too. I just I love them, and I know that it kind of sounds a little hard to be like, well, we kind of got to like look at them for like why they're making the mistakes, but I feel like we have kind of exhausted our options of who to look at, and they have had the chance a few times this season. I think they were ahead of Madison Chalk after the short at the Grand Prix final as well.
Oh, that's right. But because Madison made a big error, but still, there was an
But still, there
opportunity.
was that. So there was an opportunity there. There was an opportunity at Nationals. There's an opportunity now at Worlds, and they just don't step through the door. And that's, you kind of got to look at, okay, well, why is this happening? Do we need to get them, sports psychologists? How do we get them to see that they are capable of this? And now I think it's even time to question, are they ever going to have that chance again? Because this was such a mistake. This was so huge for them.
Mhm.
And the fact that they failed this bad, I don't know if the judges are ever going to give them that break ever
And they
again.
deserve better than this, pretty much.
I wonder
Are they at
if they're
risk?
going to be able to.
Are they at risk of losing the bronze medal at nationals? I mean, I think that's pretty secure, though, right?
Like Caitlin Hawaii and John Luke, I
Hmm.
adore them. I have loved them for years. They have been like one of my favorite American teams, but they fell twice at nationals. It's not happening for the Olympics this season or
Okay.
this coming season. Hubble and Donahue will be going.
So notes to them though this season: don't put pressure on yourself. When the door's wide open, pretend like it's not.
Yeah, just skate clean. Like they have so much quality to their skating. They are mature. They have, you know, elegance and just you're watching art when you watch them. Like I really feel like that. Like when you're watching them, it is just so artistic and like they really feel it. And Zach is an amazing male ice dancer, but they need to keep that consistency, especially when the judges are giving them the opportunity. Because when you're not able to step through that door, you only get so many chances. You know what I mean? You only
That's
get so many,
true. That's true.
and they may not ever get more.
We shall see. All right, Nicole, are there any other dance teams you wanted to discuss?
I have one more
Okay,
that I want
sure.
to discuss. Okay, so Olivia Smart and Adria Diaz. I might have said his name wrong. So, like,
Where did
Olivia
they
Smart,
place 18th, girl?
yes,
Okay,
we're talking about their short program here, their short dance. Because after the short dance, they were like, what, 10th or something?
let's
Am I,
see
is that right?
here. Short program, 16th.
Okay, well, whatever. So Olivia Smart has become like my girl this season. Like she is one of my favorites because I don't know if you all have seen her short dance this season, but you
I
need
have
to
not. Okay, I
because
will.
she skates. They do Tina Turner. They do uh, I forget the song. Anyways, it's Tina Turner, and she has blonde hair and it's like super curly, and she's wearing the sequin dress, and they like dance through it. It is wonderful. It is one of the best short dances of the year, and she is so much fun and has such quality. You would know her because she is all over Zach Donahue's Instagram because she's his girlfriend, but she is
Oh,
like wonderful, and I love her. She's better than her partner. Who even cares about Adria Diaz? Like she's like such a star that it's like I don't even like go away. Like
who's that
he's
body
there to
next
lift
to
her.
her on the ice?
Yeah,
Get him
he's there to
away.
lift her and stuff. Yeah, she's a queen and I adore her. So if you haven't seen that short dance yet, watch it because it was awesome. And
Okay,
I hope that they get more good programs like that.
I will watch it as soon as this video is over because I want to see this. And you will watch Elizaveta's mom
Yes, I will.
after the short program. Okay. So, Nicole, this is a video, another one under our belt. And we actually went over our video from last year in time because that was an hour and 37 minutes. We're like at an hour and 40 minutes. So, woohoo! Third time is the charm when you try to make a call. And just in case you didn't know this, I'm also saying this for the viewers. The connection was pretty bad in the beginning. It somehow cleared up as soon as we started talking about ladies, which was the perfect time. Yay! So thank you
Hey,
again, Nicole, for bringing your realness and your knowledge to my videos. I will appreciate this forever. Thank you so much.
thank you for having me on. I love being on here and talking skating with you. It is my favorite.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you all soon. Bye bye.
Bye.